Hello, algoritms and soulmates. This is Al Reynolds, your judge, and this is my new show on my YouTube channel, The Court of Public Opinion, the place where you, the people's voice, can and will be heard. Now, if you're new to the courtroom, make sure you grab a seat and maybe a pen and pad, but don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you are subscribed, hit that share button, and don't forget to drop down in the chat and leave us a comment. All right, now, I don't want you to be alarmed. Think of the court of public opinion as Nancy Grace meets Rapid Fire meets Fox Soul's Face Off. Yes, it's disruptive. It may be messy, but it's always going to be informative. I'm your host and judge, Al Reynolds, and let's welcome my two legal beagles. First up, we have attorney Jourdan Williams, entertainment attorney Jourdan Williams. Welcome, Jourdan.
Hi.
And joining us tonight on our premiere show will be the another entertainment attorney, attorney Kyra Coffey. Welcome, Kyra.
Hey, guys.
All right, counselor. So tonight we have a pretty interesting lineup. We're going to talk about that OJ Simpson dies at 76 from prostate cancer, but allegedly the family and children had to sign an NDA on his deathbed. Boy, talking about deathbed, Jeezy and Jeannie Mai's divorce just keeps on giving. It's giving mess, it's giving messy, and it's giving messed up. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it here in the Court of Public Opinion. Trey Songz, Atlantic Records, and Mr. Kevin Lyles, the famous manager, may possibly have escaped getting hit by a bullet. We're going to talk about that for the lawsuit. The $23 or $25 million lawsuit has been temporarily dismissed or settled. And rapper Polo G is in trouble again. And guess what? It's not for kidnapping. It's not for assault, but it's for gun charges. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. All right, let's start with the OJ Simpson case, counselors. All right, so we know that OJ Simpson died this week, and last week, and we want to send our condolences to the family. But something that I read that I thought was really interesting and also legally binding is that he has asked that his family and the 4 kids sign an NDA. Attorney Coffey, please tell me, what is the purpose of this, and what exactly, for those who don't know, what exactly is an NDA?
So an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, and pretty much it's a document that you have someone sign when you're going to disclose information to them that they did not know prior to you telling them. And a lot of celebs use this when they don't want individuals or the media to scrutinize them or know secrets about them that they want to keep on the hush. So it's not surprising that OJ did this. He might have did it for a slew of reasons. It could possibly be because he has some secrets that he might have revealed on his deathbed. I'm not saying he did or he didn't, but he very well could have, and he wants those to say secret. So he had his family members, staff members, friends, anybody who was around him during his last days had to file or had to sign this non-disclosure agreement. And I'm pretty sure that it did not have a termination date on it. So this non-disclosure agreement will be in effect well past his passing. And if anybody violates it, then his estate will have the right to sue them or file charges against them civilly for violating and breaching that agreement.
Good. Attorney Williams, I don't understand, and I've clearly heard Attorney Coffey explain it very well to me, but what is he hiding? What is it that you think maybe he's asking them to sign the NDA for? Do you think maybe he told the family and the kids the truth? Or what may have really went down? Because we don't really know what the truth is, or do we?
Well, he did do that book a few years ago, If I Did It. Confessions of a Killer. So I feel like he kind of already gave us the tea, but TMZ actually reported that someone who had direct knowledge claimed that he did not have any bedside confessions related to the LA incident. What I really think is that OJ is used to being seen as this very strong Superman-like figure, right? He was a professional athlete. He was this tough guy in the media during his trial. And so I actually think that he doesn't want us to see his softer, weaker side, especially with him being ill. From what I saw in the reports, it seems as though in his last days, he could barely even speak. And so I think that he really wanted to prevent anyone from being able to record record him or even photograph him while he was in hospice.
Well, you know, Attorney Attorney Williams, I like that, but that's not messy enough for me. Let's go back to Attorney Coffey. Coffey, I think I like the way you're going on this conversation right here. So let me ask you this. Do you think they also had to have the staff, like the medical staff as well, like his doctors and the nurses and even the janitors or the maintenance people that are in that room? Do you think they had to sign the NDA as well?
Yeah, so this was for anybody that came in the room, whether it was for professional reasons and servicing him and helping him, or someone that had a personal relationship with him. They had to sign that NDA, and they could also not bring any phones into the room. And to Jourdan's point, no recordings, no pictures, none of that was going on. So whether you were a janitor or a doctor, you also had to sign that NDA agreement to make sure that whatever was going on or whatever was being seen was not disclosed. And I don't blame them, because to relate this to something we talked about before with Kevin Hart, eavesdropping is actually a crime. So if people are in the vicinity and hear something, you still want to make sure that they cannot disclose whatever they may eavesdrop or hear accidentally if there was any secrets that was being told.
Attorney Williams, eavesdropping is a crime?
Eavesdropping is a crime. Not only that, but you actually can be sued for invading somebody's privacy if you're spilling real confidential tea. Okay, we're talking about, oh, I heard such and such had an STD, girl, and they were talking about it at lunch. We've seen this trend on TikTok of people eavesdropping on conversations and then coming on TikTok on the worldwide Beyonce Giselle Knowles web and spilling all of this stranger's tea. So it's definitely a crime. It's definitely something that you don't want to go viral for. You will probably be hit with the lawsuit, especially if it's me.
Okay, Attorney Williams, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. All right, speaking of eavesdropping, we're eavesdropping on what we see on our blogs. Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, or Mai, why do I want to call her May so bad? Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, divorce just keeps on giving. Ladies, counselors, this divorce is getting uglier and uglier and uglier. Now to the tune that Jeezy is saying his ex-wife or future ex-wife works too much. Not only does she works too much, but this has caused a grave concern for him on her ability to have primary custody. Attorney Williams, talk to me about what this move, because I feel like that this is a strategic move by Jeezy in order to try to take Jeannie Mai's child from her. We have not seen a lot of this in the courts lately. What's going on here, Attorney Williams?
Now, y'all know Jeezy is my baby. That's my boo. And I'm gonna continue to manifest, but he's wrong for this. I don't like this. We gotta clean this one up. Okay, it appears to me, yes, he's being strategic. Not only is he trying to get full custody of their daughter, but he could even be trying to prevent from having to pay child support if he is the primary parent. Now, in the court documents, he's claiming that Jeannie is too busy to actually parent their daughter, and so she's oftentimes left with Jeannie's mom or her brother, but not Jeannie herself. And what I have to say about that as a working woman is, of course, Jeannie worked. She worked when y'all first start dating, right? She was co-hosting The Real. She had other things going on. You can't expect the woman not to work. Beyond that, Jeezy, what's going to happen when you go on tour and you can't tend to your daughter 24 hours a day? I don't really like this. I think it's a little aggressive. I would have rather seen him file for joint custody and come up with something a little more amicable.
So let me ask you this, Attorney Williams. How does he know who's taking care of his child? Is he assuming that she's not, that the child's not there with her?
That's what it appears. It appears so Jeannie is actually staying at the couple's LA home while Jeezy is in Atlanta. So I believe in the LA home, her mom and her brother live there with her. So what he's saying is when she's traveling for work, when she's out, filming or doing whatever, the daughter is at home, but at home with mom and with uncle. And I'm just going to say, as potential future stepmama, it takes a village. I might be a part of the village one day. So can we all get along?
Okay, Attorney Williams. I got your point, but Attorney Coffey, what are your thoughts surrounding this?
So, Your Honor, respectfully, I would like to clarify that this is not just Jeannie Mai's daughter. This is Jeezy's daughter as well. This is their child. And yes, he is filing for primary custody, which I want to clarify that a lot of people think that just because it's the mother that the court gives preference to the mother.
Yes.
Georgia actually has some laws in place where this is filed that there is preference given to the parent that is in the best interest of the child, regardless of if it's the mother or the father. So I do not think that this is a strategic or malicious ploy against Jeezy, because if anything, Jeannie has been keeping the child away from Jeezy and in violation of their already temporary order. He's supposed to get the child for 1 week a month, and she has not been adhering to that. He went to go get the child, and beholds to going to get to the home, finding out that Jeannie had moved and moved the child from there. To this day, he doesn't know exactly where she's living. It doesn't know where the child is living. So as a parent, I don't think that that is right or appropriate. I have statements have been made that she or the caretakers has taken the child on trips from LA and New York to as far as Vietnam, and Jeezy was not told of this.
So what you got to say about this, Attorney Williams?
Now, y'all know I'm gonna stand by my man. Now, I read those documents, and I actually saw where, yes, Jeezy accused Jeannie of not adhering to the custody order, at all times. However, a lot of the times. But he actually clarified that this was not malicious intent on Jeannie's behalf, which is an important clarification because in the state of Georgia, intentionally interfering with a child custody order is a crime. So it was actually very important that while he's making these accusations, he's also saying he doesn't think that it comes with malice, right? She's not playing games with him in that way. So I don't know, maybe she's like late for drop off or something like that. But I'm hoping that they can just get on one accord. This divorce is so messy.
Attorney Coffey, what you got to say about that?
I'm not saying that it's malicious, but the fact is still the fact. She is interfering with this child's relationship with her father, and that is not fair. So whether she pay for these caretakers, then she needs to pay for an assistant to help her keep the schedule on target so that Jeezy's relationship with the child, which he wants, and I commend him as a father wanting to be present, that is not interfered with. So hopefully they can reach. They have a hearing set for May 2nd. So hopefully they can reach some amicable terms. But it seems a little bit nasty because she was trying to, she made claim of the child's safety when there was a gun in a bag that was near the child and a photo taken, and then he's claiming that he went to go pick the child up and they were exhausted and fatigued and underweight. So it seems like there's some little underlying jabs.
The jabs are being thrown here, Attorney Williams. And what are your thoughts?
Not underweight. I mean, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. And again, that's my boo. But I did watch the interview that he did with Nia Long, where he talked about for years in his career feeling like every day was his last because he has so many ops that at any given moment, one of his ops might come knock him off the block. So if you're living that kind of life, should you really be the primary custodial parent? I wouldn't want that for my child.
Wow. Good lean in, Attorney Williams. Good lean in, Attorney Williams. And in fact, for me, we're going to keep it moving from there. In fact, for me, that will trump anything because if the welfare of the child should be first priority and you went on live television and billions, they got 5 million views, confessing to ops. Hey, I have to take that into consideration, Attorney Coffey. 2 seconds. What you got to add to that?
That was his prior life. That was back then. Now that is not the life that he is living. That is not a risk. That's not a concern. He is available to take care of the child and be there more present instead of having the baby with kids.
I don't know about that, Attorney Coffey. I don't know, Attorney Coffey. Let's keep it moving. Trey Songz, Atlanta Records, and Kevin Wiles may have missed or may have dodged a bullet. The 25 or the 20 plus million lawsuit against him for the rape has been temporarily settled. Attorney Coffey, tell me, what does it mean? Because this is new to me. We haven't heard this in a long time, at least in the media. Temporarily settled?
Yes.
What are we actually saying here?
So there is a 25 million temporary settlement, and the reason being is that he has 45 days to actually fulfill the terms of the settlement. Now, we don't know all of what that includes, but we do know that includes $25 million. So we don't know if that also includes an apology or other things like that. But he has 45 days from the signing and execution of that temporary settlement to fulfill it. And if not, then they can proceed with it. And I believe that there is still a hearing on the records for fall that the motion to remove it and dismiss the case will not be filed until that payment is made. And that's a lot of money. So 45 days, hopefully they can get it together.
Attorney Williams, like we learned when Cassie sued, Puffy, she put in the record label. She put in the managers. She put in the president of the record label. And she did that because it triggered an insurance claim. Do you think that's the reason why Atlantic Records now, as well as Kevin Liles, is being placed in the headlines, attached to this 25 million lawsuit?
I don't think it's necessarily the same, right? So attorney Simone Redwine talked about the fact that Cassie sued the record label because she was also an employee, right? She was Puffy's artist as well as girlfriend. So the insurance claims there were a little bit different.
Got it. Okay, got it.
This isn't necessarily the case. I don't believe the plaintiff in this case is an employee of Atlantic Records. I actually think that this is a much more strategic move by the plaintiff to make sure that the label and Kevin Liles as Trey Songz's manager, they can no longer say, we're not babysitting Trey Songz. We don't know what he's doing at all times of the day or night. You can't say that anymore because now you're being named in his mess. Right. And I think the more we start to see record labels, managers, people in the inner circle becoming defendants in these sexual abuse cases, I think you're going to see people start to distance themselves. It wouldn't surprise me if in a few months, Kevin Liles was no longer Trey Songz's manager.
Oh, good point, Attorney Williams. Now, Attorney Coffey, let me share this thing. We saw this past week where the parents of the young boy, I think Michigan? No, it wasn't Michigan. Yeah. What was that shooting? Where the parents were held liable. They were sent Michigan. They were sent to prison. And I was actually relieved because of the gross negligence of those parents. And I've always said that we need to have some accountability across the board, right? So parents can no longer say, well, I didn't know. I didn't know. So the fact that the court set precedents in saying, listen, outside the crime who it's committed by, there are people who have supervision over these individuals that should be held accountable. Is this kind of what we're looking at when it comes to strategy with bringing Kevin Liles and Atlantic Records into this?
Absolutely. So I believe that it is in part an attack against what the attorney referenced as a systematic sexual abuse, and how there is this willful blind eye and saying, well, I didn't see it, that I'm not responsible, or I wasn't there, but you know what's really going on behind the closed doors and behind the scene. So it is pulling into the managers, the recording company, all of them, that you cannot have what we call blissful ignorance. You cannot claim to not know something when you should very well know what's going on, and you are in a position to prevent it and, attribute to someone's safety and security.
Got it. So, and this is legal. This is legal, right? So you can argue this legally about the blissful ignorance. This is really good information here, because a lot of people feel like, well, I didn't know. They can say they didn't know because they ain't not him.
Right. And I think that we are seeing patterns across legislation, across the legal court cases and proceedings, that there is a trend where people can no longer say, I did not know, when they are in a position where they should have known. And that they are in a position that impedes on the safety of other individuals, especially when it's a continual pattern in Trey Songz's case of a lot of women coming forward. And this happens all the time, and y'all get these charges against y'all all the time, and don't nobody know what the hell going on.
Right. Like, Attorney Williams, talk to me about that, because how many cases do we have to experience with Trey Songz? Like, what are we doing here? How many cases, Attorney Williams, are the record labels going to pretend like they don't know what's going on, or pretend like these girls are not coming forward? How many cases, Kevin Liles, who's a manager, I've been a manager of a celebrity before, You know what's going on.
You
You're
know
on the
what's
phone
going
with
on.
them 20 times a day. You know what's going on.
You know what's going on as the manager, as the record label executive. You can claim, you know, like Attorney Coffey said, blissful ignorance when there is no paper trail. But now there's a paper trail. You know, I'm sure there have been email communications, possibly even gotten to the deposition stage to figure out, okay, who knew what resources did Atlantic Records possibly supply to Trey Songz that enabled him to continue this, right? Because from what I found in court documents, it was actually hard for me to locate exactly which one we were talking about because he has so many. There are so many lawsuits filed by women, a lot of them Jane Doe plaintiffs because they want to maintain their anonymity, against Trey Songz for similar allegations. And it's really disgusting to me that he's been able to go and do a lot of, you know, these acts and no response from LAPD or the prosecutor's office to even say, we're going to hold this person accountable. To me, it sends a message that, hey, if you are rich and famous and you look half decent, we'll just leave you alone. We'll let the court of public opinion deal with you. But we can't fight the battles on our own. We need some help, LAPD.
All right, Attorney Williams, Attorney Coffey, what are your thoughts on that before we go on to our last and final conversation today?
Now, this may not be a favorable comment, but my question, and I don't know if they have or have not, but my question is that it does not appear as if these women are going to the police and saying that an offense or a crime has taken place. It seems like they are resolving it in civil court, which I'm not mad at, to each his own, but it does kind of hinder any type of criminal charges being brought against him if these women, at whatever time is appropriate for them, going to the police and letting them know that a crime has happened and letting the police and the district attorney file criminal charges against Trey Songz.
Got it. I don't know. I feel like, you know, as prosecutors, there is a responsibility to the public. Whether or not these women are going to come forward, they probably never will because they get ridiculed, right? When we talk about R&B and hip hop in this industry, women who speak up against these very powerful celebrities are oftentimes silenced. They get harassed online from this person's fans. So I personally think the onus of this responsibility should be with our public officials who, like we see in the streets with non-celebrities, they'll go arrest you even if nobody is asking them to press charges. They'll just come pick you right on up. So,
all right, Coffey, what you got to say about that?
I could be wrong because I don't practice criminal law. I will admit that. But I understand that they have to have a victim in order to prosecute someone for the crime. They can't prosecute on a victimless crime if no one is coming forward and asserting themselves as a victim. Now, I know that it's not easy, and I know the ridicule and things that come with women coming forward against these very powerful men, but I am prayerful that someone gets the courage enough to do so.
All right, got it. I agree. All right, let's wrap this show up with rapper Polo G is in trouble again. Rapper Polo G, it's not kidnapping this time. Nope. It's not assault this time. Nope. It's gun charges. And let me tell you something, ladies. This is not regular gun charges. So rapper Polo G was minding his business in a hotel, left to go do whatever it was that he was going to do, and housekeeping came in to clean the room. And housekeeping found a gun. And now he's facing gun charges. Attorney Williams, what is this about? Can housekeeping... I thought that was his room. That's his space. He leased it. That's his contract with the hotel. Why does the cleaning lady get to come into his space against his terms, going through his stuff, and now being able to use that proof that she saw a gun to press charges against him? How is that even possible, Attorney Williams?
So I'll say, so she's not pressing charges against the rapper. She is minding her business, doing her job, cleaning his room, right? This is a Manhattan hotel, a very fancy hotel. She's going in to clean the room, sees a gun on the sofa, and I wouldn't want to touch that. I don't know if I'm cleaning the room of a murderer, a serial killer. I don't know what's in the gun. I don't want my fingerprints on the gun. So understandably, as she's cleaning the room, she just skipped right over that couch and decided to tell the police to come and clean the couch and move the gun out of the way. So when the police came, they actually, you know, they did what they do, and they found that the gun was unregistered. So that is why he has this criminal possession of a firearm.
Well, wait a minute, Attorney Williams. Wait a minute, Attorney Williams. I don't know too many housekeepers that are going to call the police because they see a gun in a room. Now, are you telling me that the housekeeper's in there minding her business, running the vacuum, wiping up, so I see a gun and run over to the phone and calls 911. Attorney Coffey, what do you think really went down in this situation?
So what I researched and what I was trying to find, this was a Dominic Hotel in Soho. I was trying to find what their particular gun policies are, because some hotels do not allow you to even bring guns into the hotel. You have to check the security. So I was trying to see if the gun shouldn't have even been there in the first place. And that is what caused her to have such an alarm and be like, why? And then on top of that, the gun was loaded. There was one in the clip and 9 in the chamber. So, sir.
Got it.
Like,
see, my whole thing is the reason why I had rub with this conversation or with this particular action is if that's his lease space and she comes into his lease space, now he has to say not let her in, which I think he could have done that. He should have been smart. If you're going to leave a gun out, don't allow housekeeping to come in, number one. But when she comes in, and I need the attorneys to help me here, where is his privacy rights? Where are his privacy rights? Because that's his room. He leased it. She does come in as a service to the leased room. And she sees a gun. She doesn't know the gun is loaded. Let's be clear. That's just information that we find out afterwards. She sees a gun. Why does she have the right to be in his private space, in his private that he paid for? Why does she have a right to snitch on him?
I mean, I think it's just like Attorney Coffey just said. If the hotel has a policy against firearms being in the room, against drugs being in the room, some hotels even have rules against pets being in the room, and your housekeeper walks in, it doesn't matter if it's a lease space, baby. You are breaking the rules.
That's the contract has been broken. Got it.
Exactly. And it's important that people understand, even though you're leasing this room, yes, you have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the hotel room that you're paying for. That doesn't mean that you have complete and full autonomy to do whatever you want to do. So, for example, if this housekeeper walked in on a dead body, she's not going to say, oh, let me mind my business.
How dare you question the judge? Settle down, Attorney Williams. Settle down. Okay, no, this is good information because that was my biggest concern. Well, as a leasee, right, or a leaseor, where is his privacy? Where are his rights on privacy? Okay, so I get it. So it could be clearly that she saw that was a break. That was a break in policy or a violation of policy. And she probably called her head of housekeeping, who then escalated it up, and then the cops ended up being there. I just find that so now that, you know, the reason why I say this, ladies, is because I have traveled. I traveled so much. So I need to be more conscious, is what you're saying, right? I need to be more conscious of the power of the housekeeper.
Well, if you're traveling with a firearm, know that hotel's rules. Know do they allow guns or weapons on their premises? Do you have to check it in with the security? If you are allowed to bring it onto the premises, are there certain rules and regulations around how you're supposed to manage and safely secure that weapon while you're in your room? So they could have said, hey, yes, you can have guns, you know, on the premises, but they have to be kept within the safety lock, or they have to be kept within a secure gun box. And to just leave it out in full plain sight, like you said, put the do not disturb or no housekeeping at this time. But that was very frivolous of him to just have left it out and have left it loaded. And let's call a spade a spade.
Okay, hold on, attorney. Hold that thought. All right, Attorney Coffey. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Talk to me now. What were you going to say?
Really quickly, but let's call a spade a spade. So, yes, Polo G does have a reputation. So, leaving a gun out, and I'm sure she probably went and said, whose room is this? So, I was him. So, yes, it probably did lead them more preemptively to call the police than not. So, if you know you got a record and you're a celebrity and you out here in these streets doing what you ain't supposed to, just put the guns up.
That's right. I agree. I think he was being sloppy. All right. All right, algoritms and soulmates. This is the part of the show that we go to you, the jury. But for today, we're going to circumvent that because guess what? Sorry, we're running out of time. So we're going to go straight to our verdict. All right, OJ Simpson, Attorney Coffey, Attorney Williams, does this NDA stand up in the court of law? Are we saying yes to the NDA or no? Attorney Coffey?
Yes, I don't see any problem with it. It stands.
Attorney Williams?
I actually think it's going on indefinitely, and I don't think the court is going to uphold that.
Well, I'm going to rule as the judge of court of public opinion in favor of OJ Simpson to enforce that NDA. I think he's got a lot of his private life that he wants to keep private, and the family should adhere to it, especially his kids. All right, Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, this divorce, like I said, just keeps on getting ugly. Who are we starting for, Attorney Williams?
Well, y'all know I love my baby, but I got to side with Jeannie because I'm sorry, you tripping.
All right, so you said Jeannie. All right, Coffey, what you got?
She don't love that man. So I am pulling for Jeezy. I ain't trying to be his girl or nothing, but I do feel like
don't try to steal my man now.
All right, in the court of public opinion, the judge Al Reynolds is ruling for Jeannie Mai. Jeannie Mai, only because I am a sucker for the mother staying close to her child. I think that you will create more problems in the long run to keep a little girl from her mother. I just don't know. Sorry, this is the court of public opinion. We have our rights to our voice, right? All right, let's keep it moving. Trey Songz, Atlantic Records, and Kevin Liles. Where are we falling on the side of the judgment here? Attorney Coffey.
He got 45 days to pay up or it's going to go to trial, and we really going to see who's guilty.
All right, let's go, Attorney Williams.
Police can go pick him up today, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so you're saying no to the. All right, I gotta say, in the court of public opinion, I need for there to be some accountability, and I don't like the fact that we can pay people to commit crimes and it be okay. I am ruling for better judgment. I want him to be tried. I would like to see him get picked up too. All right, rapper Polo G, Attorney Coffey, was his rights violated or not?
No, he was in the wrong.
So he's guilty. All right, Attorney Williams, what are your thoughts?
He was dead wrong. Why are you walking around with an unregistered gun? Be serious.
Also loaded with one in the chamber. All right,
not even
trying. Polo G, you tried it. You tried it. Not that you had the gun, not that the gun was loaded. All right, I'm going to give you that. Polo G, put your crimes away. Stop telling on yourself. If you're going to have an unregistered gun, put it not even under the bed, wrap it up, put it somewhere where the maid can't see it. Polo G, you're found guilty. Guilty is charged in the court of public opinion. All right, algorithms and soulmates, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And be sure to hit that like button because our likes are looking a little bit low. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, hit that share. And don't forget to drop down into the chat or the comments and watch the replay on the next day. Everybody, have a good night, and we hope you enjoyed the Court of Public Opinion.